TheSadFan, where we talk about the good, the bad, and everything that made you sad. And we are here to plant our flag into the sports media space.
Don't
and
make
no
me
one
fight
will
you,
stop
bro.
us. No one will stop us, especially Ryan Day, who is undefeated at losing to Michigan in his college head coaching career. Undefeated. He almost cried last year. I'm shocked he didn't cry this year. He said our players weren't going to let them plant that here. And in my head, I
Maybe
was
don't
like,
let them win.
and that is the most common sentiment, right? That you're reading on the internet. Well, then don't let them win. Then don't let them win. Then don't let them win.
I mean, when you have a wide receiver room full of first-round picks, maybe use them. Maybe throw the ball to them instead of just running it the whole game. Especially when Michigan has really bad secondary.
Well, their best defensive back was injured too in this game, not playing. And
take advantage.
It's funny you say that, and I say, well, how about this? You're attacking the offense. In my head, here's the thing: they could only do one thing to move the ball down the field at the end of the game, and it's not like in this game you discovered that they can't throw the ball. It didn't happen in this game. We've been saying this since, I think on this show alone, since week 2, was I like, look, they can't throw. Like, I'm sorry. Orgy can't throw. Warren can't throw.
No.
Michigan can't throw the ball. So every team that Michigan has played has known, okay, we're playing against Navy or Army in blue and yellow uniforms. All right?
They're just going to run it. They're just going to run the ball.
They can't do anything else. This is it. And then they lost a quarterback recruit, I think, to Colorado just recently. Or Oregon. Was it Oregon?
I don't know.
Michigan just lost their quarterback recruit, which is crazy because I think Tom Brady was in the recruiting this person. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. Let's not get into that. But the planting of the flag, some people are over it. They're like, oh, this isn't right. People get into fights. I don't care.
Who cares?
I don't care.
It's a gesture.
I'm so over. It's so funny coming from me because, you know, the snowflakes and all that bullshit is the truth. Okay, people are so soft on certain things, and it's usually people that haven't done it or have never played, and well, I don't like celebrations, or you shouldn't be able to celebrate like in a team's face. Like, shut up! Like, just shut up. Be tough. If somebody fights over it, also here's the case: if somebody wants to fight over it, that person's weak. All right. If you're offended because someone's coaching you because you don't know how to do something, and you're like, "Well, I feel like you're talking down to me." Well, maybe I'm talking down to you because maybe you don't know what you're doing, and I'm trying to help you. And you're gonna say I'm talking down to you because you feel inadequate, because you feel inferior. Ohio State, you're saying don't plant that flag in our 50-yard line because you lost, because you feel inferior, you feel inadequate. Okay, yeah. You are intimidated by Michigan. You could say
lost
you're
at
not,
home to a trash team.
But the actions of a team that are not intimidated by another team, or the actions of an individual, is they wear it on the chin and they go, you know what, maybe this person's right. I don't have to agree, but I have to accept the outcome of what has just happened. It's the same in society, and people don't want to do that because you got to put the spotlight on yourself, be self-aware, like, maybe I suck. Hey, Ohio State, maybe you suck. Okay?
Yeah, Ryan Day, maybe you suck.
Maybe you suck. Maybe that's what it is. So here's the deal.
A hot take. I think James Franklin is a better coach than Ryan Day.
I think both of them suck, and you know that. But I think Ryan Day respectfully has, like, I think one of the best winning percentages, or a top 5 winning percentage of every coach in the last 10 years.
It's Ohio State, though. He inherited a kingdom.
It's Ohio State, and they don't play but 2 good teams a year.
Yeah.
So if you can't do that, then that's on you. All right. I think they just played Penn State this year, who, God, Penn State should have beat them. All right. Like, that game's going to piss me off forever. And who else did they play? Indiana. Is that the only other team that they played that was ranked? It was Indiana and Penn State?
Yeah, Indiana and Oregon. Yeah.
Oregon. So 3. They had 3 tough games this year. Yeah, who they lost to. That was a good game. That was a good game, but it was also week 2. Yeah. It was also week 2. So I think Oregon, gosh. Okay, keep going.
I think you put James Franklin in charge of Ohio State, I think they boat race Michigan.
I don't know, man. That guy's booty is so tight when it comes to making any tough call. Like that guy is.
I think he just has. I think the whatever problem that Ryan Day has with Michigan is the same thing that James Franklin has with Ohio State.
Penn State.
Well, like he gets so worked up about like playing Ohio State that he refuses to do anything ballsy.
Sorry. You said it's the same problem Ryan Day has with Ohio State.
Or
you meant
that Ryan Day has with Michigan. Yeah.
With Michigan, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. Like they just get so worked up and so afraid of losing that they refuse to do anything ballsy, and they're just so conservative because they're afraid of making a mistake, and it just bites them in the ass.
I think it's interesting. I'm not advocating for assault like Taylor used to say when she was our producer, but the slap card is so necessary. Like the guy that was in Jason Kelsey's face, like should have gotten punched in the face.
Yeah,
he should have. Like some people, like we've gotten so soft. People think that they're entitled to all these things, and when they don't get them, they throw temper tantrums. It's society too. Like it's a reflection of what's happening on the field. This entitlement, this everybody. You think you're entitled to beat them. You didn't. So guess what? This is a game that is consistently compared to war, right? Every inch. You have to fight for every inch. Guess what happens in war? If I beat you, I plant my damn flag in your country. So they're going to plant their flag in you, and you're going to have to eat it, and next year just beat them. I'm not like I love that you said that.
And then next year you return the favor.
Yeah, just do the same thing, and it goes round and round, and it's one of the best rivalries in sports. But it is reflective of the actual workplace. If you don't think these relationships, these animosities are going to your workplace, you're probably the problem. It's so funny. If you accept it and you understand, like, yeah, like oftentimes it's me, but I'm open to that conflict. Ohio State, I'm open to this conflict, and I need to understand, hey, this might be me. You're a big person. You're strong. You're not easily intimidated, okay? But if you're the person that gets approached that goes, well, this has never happened to me before. No, it probably has. You're probably just such a big asshole that people are afraid to talk to you about it. Like that's the case. So. Ryan Day, you're such a big asshole that people just aren't going to approach you about it. He seems like an asshole too.
His little rosy cheeks.
He seems kind of like cheeks. Yeah, he kind of seems like an asshole. Ryan Day, like every interview I hear, didn't he call out 90-year-old Lou Holtz 2 years ago?
Probably.
I think he did. He said, "Where's Lou Holtz now?" And I'm like, Lou Holtz is. I think we did a show about it. Lou Holtz is 90 years old, man. He's not going to fight you.
Yeah, leave him alone.
Why are you taking a fight with a 90-year-old man?
Yeah.
Now. I do hope that Oregon destroys Penn State for the first time I can hear it. For the first time in a very long time, I do hope that Oregon destroys Penn State. Like, it's not often that I don't root against Oregon. That's a funny thing. That's what people think because of our dynamic. I root for the Pac-12. I think I said this last year too. I want the Pac-12 to be great. And now I would love to see Oregon be great. One, I've watched, if I can't, I'm never going to be happy in college football. Like, I accept that. UCLA is never going to be great. Like, in the season they do, it's going to be phenomenal. Like, I'm going to be in heaven. I'm going to be dancing like Indiana fans. Okay? Like, it's going to be amazing when they do figure it out. But Oregon's consistently had a great team.
We have.
Consistently.
And I feel blessed.
Over 12 years, Oregon has had a really good 12, maybe more. 2012, 14 years. Joey Harrington,
national championship.
When was Joey Harrington?
That was 2003, or those.
So, gosh, they've had a pretty consistently, let's say, not great, but decent or great team since 2003. Like they've been around. Like Oregon, this is not a new dynasty. They just haven't ever won the big one, and I don't know why they're not considered a blue chip program. So 2003, that's 21 freaking years.
Yeah,
21 years. That's longer than Alabama, by the way.
I think we have like top 5 or 10 winning percentage in the 2000s.
When did Nick Saban take over as Alabama?
That was like 2007 or something, I think.
When did Nick Saban take over as Alabama coach?
Was it 2008, maybe? Because I think he
2007. Good job. So his first season was 2007. So, yeah, good job. You nailed it. It was 2007. No, January 3rd, 2007. So his first season was 2007. You got it. You nailed it.
Yeah.
So
I know my SEC history.
They've been better longer than Alabama. but Alabama has won more national championships. But that's because the SEC has been closet ass for 20 years. They've had 3 or 4 good teams, like real good competitive teams. Like you've had your outliers. Every once in a while, Ole Miss will be good. Every once in a while, Mississippi State will be good. They Texas, Missouri randomly will be good. Who wasn't always in the SEC though also. So what am I saying here? So the SEC was closet bad, whereas the Pac-12 would consistently beat up on itself. Those years that Oregon was good, you know who the big bad was in college football? Wes, who was the big bad those early 2000s years?
Florida.
No, USC.
Miami.
USC. I'm talking about in the conference.
USC, then Florida. Yeah.
So they're competing with USC. You know who else was really good in the Pac-12 during that time? Jim Harbaugh coached. Jim Harbaugh coached Stanford, was consistently a top 25 team. Consistently. Okay? Washington, UW, Jake Locker. Those Jake Locker teams were pretty decent. They didn't win anything, but they were good football teams. So, I mean, they led to Chris Peterson leaving Boise, to be frank.
Yeah.
So Pac-12 is famous for eating itself. Famous. Like, I'm so happy for Arizona State right now. Like, Arizona State, I'm so stoked for Arizona State going into this Big 12 championship game. I don't know where they came from. Dude, their program was in shambles. But, yeah,
They came out of nowhere, and they've just been blowing the doors off of the rest of the Big 12, and I'm here for it. I love it.
Let's leave it at this. I hope Arizona State wins, and I hope Oregon I just hope they destroy Penn State. Like, I can't convey that message enough. I hope they beat the walls off Penn State, because I don't think Penn State's a good football team. I don't think Franklin's a good coach. I think any chance one of these teams – now, football's a tough game, right? It's tough. It's probably not going to happen. It's a hard game. But oh my gosh, I'd be happier than a pig in shit if Oregon can just beat the hell out of Penn State, just 56-14 their ass. Like I want it to happen because I have zero faith in Penn State.
I mean, would I.
I think you and I got into this argument already because you're like, they're not better than them, and them. And I'm going to do it this time. I'm going to control the narrative this time, okay? I'm going to handle this. I'm going to tell you all the teams right now, very quickly, very fast, that can beat Penn State. You ready? Oregon, Texas, Notre Dame, Georgia, Tennessee, Ohio State did it. SMU, Indiana, Boise, Alabama, Arizona State, South Carolina, University of Miami would be a close game. University of Ole Miss would be a close game. They would beat BYU. So the first team I got to, because I think Iowa State would be a close game too.
It'd be top 25.
17. I got to 17 before I was like, yeah.
You think Penn State's that bad?
I think so do I think they could beat? Do I also think Penn State could beat some of those teams? Like, none of those teams that I mentioned, I don't think it's a sure thing, right? This isn't McGale. I don't know if it's a sure thing. But those are the only team I'm confident that Penn State would beat is 17. Confident. Okay. Like, and that's a fair statement, right? I'm just saying the only team that I am confident that they could beat is number 17. Any of the other teams, like, I don't know. I think Oregon, I
think they could beat Ohio State.
They should have beat Ohio State, but they lost that game. So I'm not gonna pretend like I'm the Yeah, I'm not gonna act like the playoff committee here. Like, well, we judge close games. No, they lost. They're done. Okay, they shouldn't be ranked higher than Ohio State. They lost to Ohio State. This is the world. Sorry, I live in the real world. I'm not like, well, the eye test. Shut up. They lost. All right, they lost. That's what
I'm arguing about is wins. And you always get mad at me for arguing about wins.
No, I get mad at that as a coach stat. Okay, that is not a coach stat. Wins and losses are a quarterback stat. Wins and losses are not a quarterback stat. They can count as a coach stat. But at the same time, we have to apply context. Like, this is another thing this world has an issue with. They didn't want to take their little knock and not apply context. Actually, apply the context to where you were offended. And then give people an actual... Because if you take it out of context... seriously, though, if you take it out of context, yeah, most things can offend people. All right? If you take it out of context. But if you apply proper context, you're just probably wrong, and you're probably being sensitive. Apply proper context. That's it. And if we apply proper context, guess what? Indiana probably shouldn't be in the top 10. If we apply proper context.
I think Indiana is better than a lot of those SEC teams, if you ask me.
I don't know.
SEC is garbage this year. They're hot, flaming garbage.
Here's where you have the conundrum with the wins losses as far as like the team should be with it. Do you know who Indiana beat this year? Who was supposed to be their other tough game?
Illinois.
Michigan. No,
yeah.
No one ever thinks Illinois is going to be good at football.
Well, okay? Illinois is the top 25 team.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying this year's an anomaly, okay? But Michigan was on their schedule preseason. Michigan was supposed to be a tough game. Indiana beat Michigan.
Yeah.
And Michigan beat
Ohio State.
And Indiana lost to
Ohio State.
That is our conundrum. Do you see? Like that
That's provides, the circle of suck.
That provides. That's what the Pac-12 used to do to itself, right? So anyway, we're running short on time.
I mean, do you also know who Texas has beat? They have beat 0 ranked teams this year.
You're right. This is a must-win matchup for Texas.
Yeah,
this is a must-win matchup for Texas. So they didn't do anything exciting. No, they beat Texas A&M. Like Texas beat Texas A&M. Move on. All right, take your 5 minutes. Talk about Travis Hunter.
3 minutes. The future Heisman Trophy winner, Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's top 5 wide receiver and cornerback, and for some reason he didn't get nominated for the frickin' Thorpe Award, the best defensive back in the country. He didn't get nominated for that. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's so stupid. Like, the dude's a shoo-in for the Heisman. He has the best Heisman odds ever.
He does. I think Genty should win it, but like if you look at any other running back that's ever won the Heisman, do you know who has the best stats?
Barry Sanders, right?
No. Of the last 3, I think. Sorry, I apologize. Let me provide proper context.
Is it Mark Ingram?
No. Genty.
I thought you said of the running backs that did win.
Sorry. Yes, that is the truth.
Oh yeah,
that is the truth. Genty has better stats than any.
If Travis Hunter wasn't around, Genty would be the shoe-in.
Yeah, I think.
Like that's all there is to say. I mean,
I think, man,
he's a phenomenal running back. He's a generational running back, but so is Travis Hunter. Is a generational player, and it's I'm just glad that it's not going to be a quarterback, even though Dylan Gabriel's probably going to get invited.
Miami probably lost trying to get Cam Ward that award.
Seriously, Miami. Yeah, Mario Cristobal, you suck. This is what happens when you hire Mario Cristobal. He was conservative, and guess what? Same thing happened at Miami. Enjoy your losses. Enjoy not making the playoffs, because right now you're out of it.
That team can't play defense, man. That team cannot play defense. Miami has no defense. If they had even a modicum of defense, we'd be having a different conversation.
If they had a modicum of a coach who could do X's and O's instead of just recruit phenomenally, they'd be doing great. They'd probably win the national championship. Because that guy can recruit the hell out of some players.
Did you enjoy the Oregon game this weekend, by the way? Was that fun?
I don't remember much of it because I was there and I was blacked out for like second half.
Okay. All right. That sounds right. All right. So anyway, well, we had a Thanksgiving
but it was fun.
Week.
It was fun.
We had a Thanksgiving week, so thank you for bearing with us. So much happened. Saquon Barkley went off 265 yards, something like that. But how about that Cowboys-Redskins ending? The last 2 minutes of the Cowboys-Redskins game with like 4 touchdowns in a row, and it was only lost by a missed field goal. We don't get to talk about that now, and I really wanted to talk about that game. That game was crazy. All right? Dolphins-Packers feels like it was a year ago. Dolphins, are they done now? 5-7? Can they rattle off 5 wins?
I don't think so. I mean, I want to say no because 2 is good, but I mean that game against the Bills was the dagger. It's clear they cannot play. Or wait, was it the Packers?
Packers.
Yeah, Packers. It's clear they cannot play in cold weather. That's gonna keep every time they go to play in cold weather. That's gonna keep coming. I think it's been since the 90s since they won a game where it was like below freezing.
I think I'm right in saying this. I think so. Do you know what Mike McDaniel's record against winning teams is?
Not very good.
Or I think it's
I think
teams
it's
against
like under
500.
500.
So Mike McDaniel's record against teams above 500 is 1-15.
Yeah.
1-15.
Miami
All right.
beats the crap out of bad teams.
They do. They do. Denver last year, they put up 70 points.
Yeah.
All right. But you know who doesn't beat the crap out of mediocre or bad teams anymore? Aaron
The
Rodgers.
Chiefs. Oh, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. No, the Chiefs
That
are
was
still
a
winning.
bad game. That was a bad game. I was watching that and I literally wanted to turn it off so many times.
Yeah.
I was like, this is such a terrible, ugly game. I was like, I'm not even sure this is football. I texted all of my friends and I was like,
No, you
Live
did. You
Golf.
sent one of Wes's famous text messages without any context. And I'm trying to decipher. I'm like, I'm just waiting for you to follow up because I was like, what the hell does this even mean? And I'm like, oh, the Seattle game.
I said if Live Golf, if the Saudis decide to create a football league, that's what you get. That's the product you're going to have. Seahawks versus Jets. Crappy games with quarterbacks that can't throw and special teams that just muff punts all day. And nobody can do anything. Nobody wants to win. Everyone's trying to let the other team win. That's what you get. It was so bad. We lost our freaking punter, hurt his back, and so we had him.
Wasn't it?
No, we wouldn't even punt. We went for it. Did
your holder get hurt? Was that your punter? Your punter was your holder?
Yeah, okay. It was 4th and 6 in our own side of the field, and we decided to go for it. And by our own luck, the Jets freaking had they had 12 men on the field, I think. And so it was 4th and 1. They got a 5-yard penalty. It was 4th and 1. And then somehow, miraculously, we made 4th and 1.
I don't know. I mean, Geno can throw. I think Geno missed a wide open DK Metcalf for a touchdown.
Geno sucks. I'm so tired of him. I'm not going to stand up for him. I'm not going to defend him. Geno sucks. I want him off of this team. I want a new quarterback. And the worst part about all this is that the NFC West sucks so bad that the Seahawks are probably going to end up winning and getting bounced in the first round, and we're not going to get a good playoff, or we're not going to get a good draft pick. And this cycle is just going to keep repeating. I want to. Can we just suck for once so we get a good freaking pick?
I mean, it's probably going to be the Cardinals out of that division.
Cardinals aren't that good either.
So,
and the 49ers are trash. Christian McCaffrey is done for the year. I hate that because I love watching him play, even though he always runs all over us. It sucks that he's out injured again. I feel like the dude can't catch a break. And the Rams suck. They barely beat the Saints.
Rams have been bad.
Yeah.
Falcons fell back to earth. Falcons haven't been good. There's a couple bad divisions this year, if we're being honest.
The NFC South, which I feel like is garbage every year.
So let's talk about the AFC South for a second. So CJ Stroud, he gave us a list of his top 5 quarterbacks last year. And before, I think it was Jalen Hurts, and then he decided to replace Jalen Hurts with Josh Allen. So I think before this finalized list, Jalen Hurts was on it, not Josh Allen. All right? So his list of top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes. That's fair. Probably the best quarterback. Not this
is
year.
CJ Stroud's own list?
Yeah, CJ Stroud's list. Okay.
I didn't know he made a list of his favorite quarterbacks. That's cute.
No, that he didn't. It's not his favorite. It's who he considers the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. Who are the top 5? So Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and I think what used to be Jalen Hurts, but now it's Josh Allen on his list.
Yeah.
And then Dak Prescott, and then CJ Stroud.
I mean, hey, if he wants to list himself, if he's got confidence, go for it.
He might want to reevaluate that after this year, and I might want to reevaluate. Now, granted, he's been sacked more than any other quarterback, I want to say. I think he's been sacked more than any other quarterback in the NFL, and that's going to impact your play. But the thing is, man, if you're going to talk all this shit, like, you got to be prepared for people to attack you. And I don't think, like, the Caleb Williams thing with him crying in his mother's arms at the USC game, he talks so much shit. And Shedeur Sanders, like, say what you will about him. Like, I like it because he doesn't back off of it. He is who he is. He keeps it coming, even when he loses. He keeps talking the smack. Like,
Yeah.
I hope he never loses it. I do. Like, I can appreciate that type of smack talk. The smack talk that where I'm like, you're full of it, is when you show yourself for who you actually are. And CJ Stroud, like, we're gonna see it soon because that team is gonna make the playoffs, but they are not good. The Houston Texans are not good. He has been bad this year. Like, bad. He's been really bad. Okay? And we saw what he was without any receivers when Nico Collins went out. So he's got a long way to go.
It's the same thing as the Seahawks. The Seahawks might make the playoffs, but they're not going to do anything in the playoffs.
Aaron Rodgers is done based on going back to that Seahawks-Jets game.
I mean, he even said it himself. He's not sure if he wants to return next year. And you know what? Good. Stay out of my NFL, bro.
Well, I've been reading that he wants to play, just not for the Jets.
Who's going to take him after this year?
Again, let's go all the way back to the beginning. Sooner or later, you got to look in the mirror and go, maybe it's me, bro.
Yeah,
maybe it's you. Maybe you're the problem.
You know, maybe.
All right. So
maybe my anti-vax bullshit is the problem here.
So you got Georgia Tech as well. Okay. Georgia Tech.
Overtimes.
So let's end the show with this. Let's talk about this. You have feelings about overtime. I honestly think college overtime is as good as it's going to get.
So here's the silly thing about it is after each set of overtimes, like, okay, so after you go to triple overtime and it's just an alternating 2-point conversion, you alternate sides of the field. And so you do 2 plays and then everybody walks 95 yards over to the other side, does 2 plays, back and forth, and forth. And also, every overtime, the teams get another timeout. It's so stupid. So each team had like 8 timeouts.
Okay,
and it just drags it on.
Take away the timeouts, but
absolutely take away the timeouts.
You know who's happy about this is commercials.
It's so dumb.
Love it.
So
they can run so many commercials.
And here's the thing.
I'll concede timeouts.
Thank you. And I think the first 2 timeouts, they should push the starting point because right now they start at the 25.
What if we give them 1 timeout for every 3 overtimes?
Sure, I can do that. But so the first two overtimes, you start at the 25, and it's like that's pretty easy for a field goal. It's not guaranteed for a college kicker, but it's pretty easy. I think move them back 35 or 40-yard line where it's not a guarantee. They have to actually work to get inside field goal range, and I think you're going to see a lot shorter overtimes that don't go into this 2-point back and forth crap.
Maybe. But maybe not. I mean, and you said it's 2 downs they score. It's not true. There's strategy. Teams practice for this, right? There's plenty of overtime. This one went 8 overtimes. Look up the amount of games that have gone into. Look up the amount of games that have been played versus the amount of games that have gone into 8 overtimes over the last 20 years. Probably not a lot. Let's relax.
It's not a lot.
Let's relax. Okay, we had one time where we're like, we're disappointed in this 1 in 100 times this is going to happen. Change everything. Like, relax. All right, it happened once in hundreds of games. One time. All right, and you just happened to be watching it because why? Because what were you actually hoping for? You were actually
going to lose.
That's what you were. So we're really upset. We're upset that we waited for super long to see what we wanted, and we didn't get what we wanted, and now we're pissed. Because I sat there forever trying to see Georgia lose, and not only did I get forced to sit there forever, they bleeping won. I'm mad. Change overtime rules.
Yeah, they should have just lost earlier if they were going to lose. Okay, also, Georgia Tech, you suck, man. You had the lead going into, like, the last – I mean, you were up. You were kicking the crap out of them all game. And then you just let them come back. What are you doing, man? Come on. Yeah. This is your biggest game of the year.
That is funny because it is a running team. But no, I think we're being a bit hyperbolic.
Yeah, they kept passing it in the overtimes. I was like, dude, run it. You're going to win. Run it. You're going to win. You're going to win.
I think we're being a bit hyperbolic. I think college overtime is great. I think we are upset. I think I'll concede the timeouts. But outside of that, look, man, it is what it is. Teams train some improvements. So let's go all the way back, Wes. If you don't like it, stop them. Just stop the team from scoring. Stop the team from the 2-point conversion. Like, teams miss the 2-point percentage conversion rate is so low as it is. That is the deterrent from it going into multiple overtimes. It just happened. They kept making it. That's just what happened this game. It just happened. They kept making it. We're going to keep making the show. We're going to keep making the show. We're going to keep getting better. There was a lot still to talk about. I wanted to talk about the Panthers and how Bryce Young's gotten better. There was a lot going on.
We didn't even talk about Azeez Al-Shaair.
Yeah, and
that nasty hit on Trevor Lawrence.
Dirty hit, super dirty hit from a super dirty player. I hope he's suspended
for the rest of the year. That's all I got to say.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with him. But it was very clearly a dirty hit. I don't think it's indefensible probably there. But we appreciate you joining us each and every week. We hope to see you next week.
Adios.